Like stuff like that. That don't make sense.
Well, because I feel like Esther thought that you would flip on her, but she knew I wouldn't flip on her.
But I wouldn't. Like, my thing is, like, my goal was for me or Esther to win this game. That was my goal. And I told her that when she got on this call, I told her, me or you winning this season. That's all I care about. But she went, like, it just didn't make sense to me. And then the whole excuse of, like, it was because you were, like, after I got voted out, I was like, we were fighting in the group chat, you saw. And she was like, it was because you saved Luke. I mean, yeah, John, and like you were just gonna be sporadic. And what if I wanted to vote John out? It was just a bullshit excuse. So I'm extremely happy. I was like, first of all, I was laughing down when Esther got randomized out again. Because that's insane to get randomized out 3 times in a row. And then Pranoy, being Pranoy, the same reason I told y'all we gotta vote out Pranoy first because Pranoy gonna go to the end and do something crazy. Pranoy did.
Jalen's the one that did something crazy.
No, but Jalen did Jalen. Like Jalen was being Jalen. Like I respect that, and he got the win.
Look,
Pranoy
when I picked that 11, I knew that I had lost the game. So at that moment, I just wanted to have some fun and maybe recall something from my original season. Like,
but the only person who would have done that is you.
I know. So
nobody else on this cast would have been like, yeah.
I know that especially Colleen, she was a runner-up. She would want to win and she would lie. And Jalen, he's cutthroat. So at that time, I just thought, okay, let me just have some fun and I'll take one of them and they'll go back on the word and just in that moment.
Also, what was so funny was like when it was happening, I knew what was happening before Dominic did the votes because I did the same thing on season 8.
I was so like nervous with that whole Colleen, Jalen, and her trio. Like I wasn't like from Final 5, it really made me think not clearly.
But my thing is like, why did you wait till Final 5 to realize that and not at Final 6 when you could have used the votes? You could have used John and Luke to make a change.
That was difficult because like John wasn't like committing to me. Like whenever I was like trying to speak to him, he was never giving me a name and he was like running my name to other people. So like he was actively gunning for me. So that's why I couldn't like work with him. And the 3 people who wanted to work with me, they were close. So I thought that I would like take safety each round, something like that. Like John didn't want to work with me. So that was the most difficult part, frustrating part. So
I don't blame Pranoy for voting me out. I don't blame Jalen for voting me out because I would have never in a million years let Jalen get past like 7, let alone to like 5 or 6 or 4 or 3. Like even like when y'all were up there like contemplating what you should do when Pranoy was like, oh, I don't know what to do, like at Final 4. What? No, like no.
I was just waiting. I was literally waiting for me to go. Like I was just waiting for them to be like, sorry, Jalen, this is the time.
Exactly. Because that's what you're supposed to do.
I said like when Jalen volunteered to go out, I asked Colin, like, would you want to like take out Jalen? Colin said no, like she doesn't feel comfortable. Like what I'm supposed to do there?
When did you say that?
Bro, y'all sat here for 30 minutes contemplating if y'all should vote out Jalen or
that was on the double up.
There was no reason for me to vote for if Pranoy was gonna double himself up with Jalen for me to vote for Jalen, then he has 20 more steps than me going into the final 3. That made no sense.
Did he double jump up with Esther?
Yeah, because he changed his mind. But at first I said I didn't feel comfortable voting out Jalen if you're gonna double up with him because then I'm like throwing.
Because all Pranoy would have to do is take 3s all the way till 24, steal every time, and then take a 6, and he would have won the game.
All I'm saying is that's not even the first opportunity you had. Luke gave you an opportunity at Final 5, and y'all still didn't want to take the shot.
I don't regret it. I almost won. So like I don't know, like.
Hello. That's why I was asking Luke to just like give a name. Just like I didn't have a vote that round, so I was asking Luke just give a name.
Luke was not in the position to give a name. Luke was doing all Luke could do. Y'all
No,
were in the
I-
position
I-
to give him that.
I just want to like speak my piece. Is I don't know. I got a lot of mixed feelings. I'm not discrediting anything of Jalen winning because again, his game is his game and he earned that. That is not what I'm going to take issue with. It was just frustrating to watch the end game specifically because I was the one who gave Pranoy the double up, who, if he played it correctly, would have won the game. And I was like in my head watching, I was like, oh my God, I helped him. And then he completely blew it. And I was like, well, fuck. Like, what was the reason?
I didn't double up correctly. The mistake that I did was taking the 11. That I just didn't know what is the optimal strategy in taking the final auction. That was my mistake. I don't think that I did
I'm really happy. I'm really happy. Like even like the people I wanted to leave early still left early, even though I wasn't here to take them out because they couldn't get their shit together either. Like it was just a good season all around for me. Even
where the opportunity for me to go home ended, or like the only opportunity for me to go home in this game, realistically, was when Josh and Bunny, if they wouldn't have said Sophia's name and they would have just said my name, Sophia probably would have went with them and voted me out.
Wouldn't Sophia have still gone home?
I didn't say Sophia's name at all.
Well, somebody did.
But wouldn't Sophia have still gone home?
No, Colleen would.
Wasn't that the round with the little power thing?
Yeah, but me and
Sophia had minus 19, and if Sophia would have gotten the votes, I think
I would have went. If Sophia would have gotten voted out, I would have went home. But if I would have been voted out, Colleen would have went home.
Colleen, yeah.
How does that work? I wasn't here for that one.
Real quick, what did everyone think of the off? I'm curious.
It was fire. That's fire. I like that twist.
I had fun because
I didn't like it.
Use that strategy.
It was like
It was not for me.
the person who gets voted out, the person that's closest to them in steps also gets voted out with them.
No, but I get that part. But my part that I don't get is why is it different?
Because
like,
because if they were voting for Sophia had negative something, Jalen had 4, and I had 7. So Jalen was the closest to Sophia.
Oh,
Jalen,
that makes sense.
To Jalen.
Yeah. This is why we said that because Josh and Bunny both had 13. So we said that let's just vote for Josh, because with that, if Josh gets voted out, then Bunny, because they also had 13. So both of them will get out together.
So who would like to see the power off back in a future season?
Not me.
Or was it too convoluted? Just some feedback.
I think the lights out isn't in of itself a bad twist. I just think that combined with like the team twist is what made it kind of shaky in my opinion, because when you have the teams for one round, it very much became two sides. Like very quickly solidified in my opinion. Like people weren't going to be flipping on each other.
It wasn't two sides because there were teams. It was two sides because of who were on the teams.
Yeah, I'm just saying came to the teams that it was just easy for those people to stick together, because as soon as they realized,
what I'm trying to get you to understand is even if those teams were like distributed differently, the same people would have stuck together.
Also, I think one thing which didn't work with the team format, I think the vote exposure doesn't work, because like nobody wants to reveal that they flipped. So if there's any mechanism where there's team format but there's no vote exposed, then that would work, because that would give more incentive to people to flip, because they don't want their votes to get exposed.
Okay. Definitely have to go over that. There's definitely a lot of ideas that I think were interesting and definitely could be used again in future seasons that maybe need to be workshopped or worked on. But I think overall it added to the flavor of the season. I think it made for an intense, crazy ride. I
didn't get to participate in any of the twists.
No, this season was so fire.
I
didn't get to play.
After Esther getting randomized out that many times, I do think that maybe if you're
that is not the randomizer's fault. That is not the randomizer's fault.
If you weren't watching, Dominic said that he's going to reconsider.
I was watching. I was there for that. That's not the randomizer's fault.
Oh, Price, shut up. You just did it.
Don't.
Esther had the opportunity to
All I'm
get the
saying
tiebreaker.
is that I feel like the game wasn't broken before when there was a competition for the tiebreaker, and I feel like that's more fair because then at least you have a way to, like, you have a chance to save yourself. At least, like, you can say, okay, I went home because I lost, not I went home because a random.
fucking
You went
randomizer.
home because you didn't buy the tiebreaker.
Okay, Price, but if it happened one time, you could use that argument. She's been
But she
randomized
had
every
the
single day.
opportunity to buy it. She had it.
You
It's not
shut
like
up,
it
because you
wasn't
was first
there.
boot, so you be quiet. You
It was
shut
not
up.
like it wasn't there.
Right,
She
all I'm
didn't buy
saying is
it.
I feel like the fact that there's no competition, like I feel like in a tiebreaker situation, I just feel like it's more fair for someone to be able to fight and then say, okay, I'm out because I lost. Like I lost the competition.
That's not the point of the game.
But
The
hold
point of
on,
the
can
game
we
is
talk
winning
about how
yourself.
Jalen and
That
Colleen
was the
giggled it
game
down
for
at Pranoy?
Seathens.
Yeah, I wasn't laughing at Pranoy.
No, because you certainly left the camera
Y'all was
frame.
giggling down because let that have been me. Y'all would the whole set would have been on fire.
Can we talk about Luke eating Jalen up?
No, can we
That
talk
was
about
funny.
it
Okay,
because hold
Said
on,
that you should
because
have quit
Luke,
respectfully, and I
because
Okay.
jumped.
Luke, I almost had to jump in, but I had to giggle first because you was eating down. You had me
yeah,
giggling.
okay, but in my mind, like
That was
How-
so funny.
I still
did-
won. So
I do want to.
Okay, but you got ate up in the process.
okay,
No, yeah,
that's
I do wanna
fine.
I did see the comments at the end, and Legend was right, where like Jalen got the last lick and he did win the game. My issue isn't necessarily with, he, again, obviously in that moment, I was saying, well, if you lose the game, you're going to look dumb. And he won. So I can't complain about him voting me out. What I'm not as much of a fan of is as soon as he won and his first words were, I tried to lose and I still won. As somebody who wanted to play there, and again, when I said respectfully just quit, when you're saying, I'm here for Colleen, to me,
No, but that's
Okay,
not on Jalen. You
but when-
cannot
but-
fault
okay.
Jalen for that at
Okay,
all.
respectfully, and I'm gonna try and say this without
Not respectfully.
and I'm
Y'all
gonna
about
try
to
and
be
say this.
disrespectful.
I'm gonna try and say this without sounding cocky, but I don't think there's any way to do it. When you've
Got it,
won
flaunt it.
as many times as I've won, your mindset changes.
I know. I'm just saying, though, when it comes to, I'm here to give it to other people, and then you win anyways, and you're like, well, I still won anyways. Obviously, that's
That's
frustrating
me.
for people who wanted to be here and wanted to win,
But
especially
but
I
in
just-
reality,
That's not his fault.
but in reality, did I give it to another person? Did I give it away?
At the end of the day, Jalen still did fight in the end. It's not that he didn't want to win. It's that he wouldn't have been upset if one of his friends won.
Yeah,
No,
I wasn't going to actively try and get them out to win whenever I still had a path to winning with them in the game.
Yeah. I'm just saying I didn't like that being.
He wanted to win. That's why he at that top three he put my name down. Like that's why he wanted to win. So that's why he did it. That's the biggest
Luke
proof.
been trying to make this point for 7 minutes, and every time Luke speaks, somebody else chime in.
Right,
sorry.
damn.
I'm just saying.
Let
I
Jalen explain his damn self. He don't
think-
need no helpers. Clearly, he don't need no
All right,
help.
I have a question. I know Jalen said, I'm willing to lose. Like when you win this many times, it's okay to lose. And I want Colleen and Esther to lose. But I mean, if I remember correctly, the immediately following the vote, right away, he said, no, I was kidding because I wanted to vote Pranoy. I hope you guys were catching up on it. I think he was fronting. I know he can play it off now, but I'm pretty sure he didn't actually
Yeah,
want to.
I didn't think
I didn't
so
want
either.
and I didn't want to lose. Whenever I say I tried so many times to lose, what I mean by that is there were a lot of different moves that I could have made in the game where I feel like my path to winning would have been easier.
Yeah.
So basically,
I
I chose.
just have one question. How's your brother doing?
Oh, he's fine. I didn't,
Lord
I mean,
have
he didn't
mercy.
break the promise.
I didn't break the
Okay.
promise.
Oh, fun
Price.
fact. Too,
Legend was
this-
asking Jalen a question.
Like, dang, Price, wasn't you voted
Y'all
out?
all in my business. Y'all ain't even playing the
Wasn't
game.
you voted
Why are
out?
you
Ain't
here?
your feelings
Y'all
hurt? Let's
ain't
talk
even
about
playing the
Price.
game.
Okay,
Why are
Price.
you
Because
here?
I was asked
How
to
do you
be
feel
here.
about Jalen
I was
and
asked
Esther
to be
voting you
here.
out? How do
You
you
were
feel
asked
about
to be
that?
here a
not
few hours
listening.
ago, but you
I
lasted about
already
an
said
hour.
it. Y'all missed it. But I
Okay,
am
well,
not
can I
mad
just
at
say
Jalen.
that? Can I just
I
say
am
that?
not mad at Jalen.
I agree
at
with
all.
both ends. I agree with both ends of you and Esther because y'all both low-key hypocrites because
No, like for Jalen, it made sense because I would not take Jalen all the way to the
I'm
end.
talking about for you and
Esther.
Esther. Y'all both hypocrites.
But that's the thing. Esther voted me out, and I would have taken Esther to final two no matter what. She would not have had to question like she had to question with Jalen when she got randomized out. She wouldn't have had to question because there was nobody else in this game.
So what did you do to make her vote you out?
Nothing. Exactly.
Oh, okay. That's not what the chat said.
The chat said this is what she.
I read in the chat.
This is what she claimed.
I had my camera, baby.
She claimed the reason I got voted out was because I worked too hard to save John, and she wanted to vote John out.
So what happened with that, Price? Explain a little
Price
more.
won immunity and gave it to John. And
I won immunity and I gave it to John.
Okay, Price. And what that sound like?
What do you mean?
When Esther did that and we voted out Esther?
But that's the different story.
Same thing, Price. We literally did that to Esther. When Esther literally won immunity and then she gave it up to somebody who.
But that's the thing is like that's because she gave it to somebody that we wanted to vote out. Somebody we had already discussed before the cycle. We had already talked about Pranoy being the vote. We had already discussed that, and everybody was on board. So me saving John was just to make sure John didn't have a vote and John was also saved. That shouldn't have changed nothing about our plan.
Okay.
Well, it did.
I was just playing devil advocate.
No, but like Jalen, since you were the ringleader, what was the reason?
Oh, well, the reason was in reality. So when everybody came on my team that did, I was like, well, I can work with I want to work with all of these people, right? So I wasn't necessarily the ringleader. It was just like me and Esther both kind of knew at some point that we were going to have to turn on you because I knew in my heart that you were going to turn on me. I didn't know about Esther, but Esther felt that way. I necessarily didn't feel like you would turn on Esther. I felt like you would definitely turn on me at some point. So I was just like, well, you know what? I think these people will be loyal, just as loyal as Price. So why not just do it now?
Because I do not know how y'all let Jalen make it to the end.
Exactly.
I'm proud of my bestie. Like it's a win. It's a win-win.
Jalen did exactly what he needed to do to win without even having to try hard.
Okay, but let's not put all the eggs in my basket. Colleen played just as equally as a game as me. She could have won. Esther played just as equally as a game as me.
That Jalen's the ringmaster win. I literally almost won the game too, guys.
Okay, but did you win?
Did you win, Price? Did you win?
I'm just being honest.
No, because
did you win, Price? You got some nerve.
Literal randomized.
You was there an hour.
Tag him back. Colleen, tag him back. Get in the field.
You were literally the first person out.
And Pranoy played just as good as the game as me as well up until taking the 11.
Oh, hush.
Let's give Colleen some more credit. She is now number 1 on the Steps of Fame. So, yeah.
What that mean?
All right, nobody clap.
No, like I genuinely don't know what that means.
It wasn't a drag. It wasn't a drag.
I
really don't know what that means.
The players I want everyone to know that. I mean, because a lot of people sent me like what they thought people were going to be working with. They sent me some pictures of them drawing people together. Esther, Colleen, Jalen have known each other since about 2017. It's been a long time that they've known each other, but I feel like as the game progressed and people were working with them, I was like, they're not going to know when it comes down that because they know Esther from now. They know Jalen from Strategic Aspect, and Colleen's not on Twitter that much, so it's disguised pretty well.
Oh, ice cream must be good.
But
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm meeting these people for the first time. Like I'm meeting Colleen, Jalen for the first time.
Pranoy actually sent me a little graph, and it was like he wanted Colleen to be his number 1 pre-game. That was what was
working really close with him, and I trusted him. Like
so, he voted him Final 4, and then he decided to not crown you the winner, and I think that had a reason to do with it.
All I knew that Jalen and Esther, they have played 1 season together. Like I didn't know that they were friends for like 6 years. Like and Colleen,
I did, but I couldn't tell nobody.
Since I'm not in touch with
you could have told somebody. You were there an hour. You had time.
No, Price 100% tried to blow up our games whenever he left.
Oh, I did, but the other side had no chance. Like voting out Josie and not Sophia killed that side's entire mobility.
Oh, Josie was given this season.
No, because me and Josie would have worked together well.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like voting out Josie first killed that other side's entire chance at anything.
I'm just surprised. What I'm really surprised about,
Josie was the entertainment this season.
I'm surprised Sophia didn't try to take a shot at me earlier. Like I'm really surprised.
I don't know. I don't know.
Team format.
No, me and Sophia.
Dominic, I know you said
Sophia and I were trying to get you out, but then the plans flipped or whatever, and people flipped to be on your side, so we had no chance.
Okay, so is this the final season?
But Bunny, whenever I joined the call with you and
3 more seasons planned
I
already.
literally heard you say, if we vote Sophia and then you
because Josh just threw out Sophia's name. And of course I'm gonna say whatever Josh wants to hear. You know,
that's what got Sophia to flip, I think, was me telling her that you said that.
Okay, I just want to say hi, China. Hope you're having a lovely day.
Hey.
Hi.
I enjoyed you. You were funny.
Yeah, we were enjoying you on call. Yeah, we was getting into it.
Okay, I'm glad because I thought, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still kind of disappointed in myself. So I think I'll just
you was tagging Jalen up. You made good points.
I want to read y'all my pregame thoughts. This is what I said pregame.
All your points were valid, Luke. Like I was like, Luke is making a great argument.
Yeah, if they didn't have the friendship that they had, you probably could have had some sway.
You probably, like you honestly was very convincing.
Wait, why is it not here?
History, then you probably would have been able to like maneuver.
Dominate.
That makes me feel a bit better. Yeah, because I was just kind of like,
because I believed you. You were selling me. I believed it.
Yeah.
Oh, and if I had never won the game, we would have already been making that move, Luke. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I get what you mean. No, yeah, and the way you did say like. The way you explain like why, like what you said and what it meant, like makes more sense. I just think like in the moment when you said it without the context, it sounded worse than it did.
Why are they showing up on your phone but not mine? That's weird.
I will never try to like purposely lose. Even whenever I told Pranoy, I was like, I'm just ready to give up and just use the double up on me. I was still trying to get Esther and Colleen to all vote out Pranoy in that point. You get what I'm saying? So that the double up would come to me. And then, but Colleen caught it, thankfully, like so that she wouldn't look stupid. She caught it and was like, well, if I do that, you're just going to win, basically. So it's like.
I will say, just the one thing that disappoints me is that I gave Pranoy the double up and then he freaking blew it.
I used the double up correctly.
I was, like, because when I was watching everything and it was coming down to the end, I was like, oh my God, Pranoy's going to win. And I'm going to say, like,
here's what I would have done. I would have, why didn't you consider.
And then he did that.
Using the double up on, let's say, 2 people and then not voting either of them. Like, why wasn't that put into play? Like, you could have doubled up 2 people and not voted either of them, and then the double up's out of play.
At that time, like I thought, like by the time I realized that I have aligned with 3 people who are like real life friends, it was
but Pranoy took 20. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And then like since I had like the least amount of steps with 11, I thought, okay, it would make sense for people to just like not put me out because I had the least amount of steps.
Pranoy, to be fair, you did align with us and we were friends, but I think that every single one of us was loyal to you. And it gets down to 4 people, like it doesn't matter about that. I would have been willing to vote out Jalen or Esther at that point. Like
you also could have kept safety and then use the double up, like figured out, kind of get a sense of who's going home and then just use the double up on the 2 people that aren't going home and boom, it's nullified.
Yeah, if you would have stayed quiet about the double up, they would have just voted me out and you would have known they were voting me out and you could have doubled up me and you.
Well, you can't do that if you kept.
No, I can't double up myself. That's why. No, that's why I wanted some extra steps and I wanted the double up on me. That's why I couldn't take the safety.
Yes, you did have, so I understood, but I was like, damn, this is a gamble for sure.
Like the only problem was that like I didn't realize that picking like what is the right number to pick. Like I didn't think clearly that, and that's
what was your logic behind taking 11? Like what was going through your mind?
So my logic was like because like I saw Colleen pick 6 twice previously, and for some reason I thought that she would just like think that I would like since I was like ahead of her 3 points, so I thought that she would pick 6 plus 3 9. And that's why I just like increased 2 more and picked 11. Obviously, my didn't make sense at that time. It made sense to me, but it was bad. But I had fun, and also if Colin would have gone out in that randomizer, maybe I don't know whether Jalen would have kept word and taken.
No,
not by the rate. If it would, I don't know what would happen. I don't know.
How'd you guys like the twist? So the turn order twist.
I enjoyed it the one time I got to do it.
It's fun.
I mean, I don't think it really adds anything, to be honest. No
I think it
offense.
makes things go faster. That's about it.
This season was long.
Yeah,
Because
which is crazy.
They spent hours talking about nothing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was lots. But I wanted to give it, I wanted the season to be just the best player gets it. I didn't want anyone to be like, oh, if only I had more time to talk. Well, you guys had a lot of time, so no one can say that.
So you said you got 3 seasons
It was
planned. What's
pretty
going
nice
on?
meeting all of you. Thank you for having me
Yeah,
back.
Prannoy.
Abu,
But
It was
congratulations.
amazing having you.
Bye,
Colin.
Pinoy.
you did good.
Bye,
You
everyone.
did good.
Also, Lou, you finna slide in John DMs?
Maybe. We'll see.
Nah,
John
I saw y'all in
rejected
that house. I
Lou.
saw y'all in the alumni chat. I was like, ooh.
I was like, oh. I was like, he's getting to know me.
Legend. And I have seasons planned, but like the next 2 seasons are just like new players. Or the next 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
new players.
I
What's
just
the
want
theme?
everybody to see this right here. I said
What's
this
the
to
theme,
Dominic
Dominic?
the day the cast dropped right after. I said Esther is my number one, obviously. Like that girl was going nowhere. And it just don't make sense to me.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
I just saw that.
It's okay for your
Emmy, I
feelings
don't
to be hurt, Price.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I mean I read it. I said so.
No,
This
I
is
was
my
just-
thought process. I thought it was
Oh.
since it was 7 champs and 7 like non-champs. I thought it was gonna be 2 teams of 7 to start with. I said Jalen might get flung, but it would be good for me to set up some soldiers and get flops out early. So I was gonna like set up my soldiers on my side, let the flops get out, and I was like Jalen can get flung. I don't give a fuck.
Well,
Then I was like, but the champs I am willing to work with are Jalen, Josie, and Brooklyn. I was like, Mikey, I could probably use.
I'm sad Brooklyn didn't show up.
Yeah, but I was like, Bunny and Sophia, they gotta go into my targets. I said Esther, my number one, obviously. Taisha.
Aisha? Who is Taisha?
Who is Tachia? Well,
Taisha, Colleen, and Kat are potential allies. Emmy, I don't care about. Pranoy, I do not trust. First boob.
Well,
then I was like, Emmy can go next, but I'll probably drop Colleen or Kat if necessary too. Like I was wretched.
Did Grayson, I want to hear your thoughts.
Well,
did you hear any of my camera talks whenever it was just me and you in calls?
Yes, I did actually. When I was monitoring, going back and forth. I'm speechless, really. This game has come up a long way, and to watch this season, it was crazy. There are some heavy, intricate moves going on. There are also maybe some questionable moves, but I have to say there were a lot of firsts. I was shocked. My jaw was on the floor. Everyone carried the season, not just the players, but even the audience members. Everyone who watched, supported, played. I was flabbergasted.
oh, so cute.
Thank you, Legend. I appreciate that. Everyone, you're cute yourself, so don't down. So everyone,
Don't
so
lie now, Grayson. Don't get the line.
I'm just everywhere right now. But yeah, to I guess put it shortly, I need to sleep on this and really gather my thoughts. But like there's some.
I have a question because I missed like the middle parts. Like after I left, I was gone, and then I didn't come back until final 6. Yeah, that's when John left, right? Final 6. But I just like were those other parts interesting? I really felt like it was just the steamroll.
Not really. The middle part of the game was pretty boring.
I mean,
yeah, that's what I felt.
It was.
on the surface it may be, and I'm just a freak when it comes to like these types of games, but I'm the type of guy who loves to watch chess pieces move on the board. So like I just love intricate moves, like little moves. And when people are moving steps in spaces, even when they're doing all threes, I like to watch that, and like I just absorb the information. I'm like, okay, well, why are they pulling a 3? Why are they pulling a 4? Right? And then I think, what is their plan? Are they doing it on accident? Because the model is it all counts. And that reigns true. Every little move you do counts, because it could end up as a sudden death tie, as someone taking the lead in step count. I mean, you control the economy based on each number you take. I'm a nerd, so like I'm kind of biased, but I love watching each and every minute of any game of SA. But I guess yes, for any casual viewer, I would the middle part was a little lacking, but then it really picked up at the end with some firsts and some blind sides, and I do feel bad. I am so sorry that are you here, Esther?
No, Esther is at the hospital.
She's at the hospital right now.
Wait, is she? Wait, for seriously?
Yeah.
Actually,
she wasn't feeling well.
We don't know. But
I thought you were joking. Oh my gosh. Oh, I hope
she might be. She said she was gone.
Feeling well.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew she wasn't feeling well, but I thought it was like a cold.
No,
she doesn't know what it is.
Oh,
you know what it is. She wasn't feeling
I hope
well.
she's okay.
Same.
Y'all,
I'm about to go to bed. I enjoyed the last half of the season.
I enjoyed the first 2 evictions.
Please, Price, shut up. I'm glad my bestie won. You look nice with your little legs. But I'll see y'all next season when I play. Good night.
Fire.
Bye.
But
yeah, I feel like Twitter games like can't be interesting to watch unless there's drama, like people yelling and stuff. But like this season, I feel like especially the end was extremely interesting to watch, and there wasn't any drama. Like there wasn't any fighting or screaming at each other.
I feel like y'all say that, but like throwback to season 8. I know this because I was on it, but like there was something interesting happening every cycle, and it wasn't like drama or fights. It was like
season 8 was so.
That's what Jalen just said. You just said what he said.
No, I didn't. He just said
said the end was interesting and there was no drama. And you just said season 8 that every round was interesting and there was no drama. You just said the same thing.
I was talking about strategic aspect in general, Price, not just this season.
Oh.
Like I will just say though that the idea of strategic, like season 8, like having interesting things happen but not be drama. No, people were dramatic as hell. We could not pretend like round 1 didn't happen and DeMonica was like, Price,
DeMonica don't count. DeMonica does not count.
Or Rachel being like, you're a nasty person. You can see it on Luke's face. And she was right. Or just everything that happened. There was arguing and fighting every freaking round.
I take it back. We did fight a lot. I take it back. Never mind.
8 was the most, I think, dysfunctional group of people. And I say that as someone who won. People were insane. And it was scary. Dude, that 1-1-1, I still watch that sometimes. I still watch that video and I'm like, he going to hell. He is fighting for his spot in heaven after that one. That was traumatic. I was gonna be like, I had this random like dream in my head. If like somehow if I ever like was going against you and it tied and I was voting you out, I would have been like, oh, Rachel's gonna love this one. Like that's the only thing. I was like, Rachel out here looking for like just desserts at the moment because that was crazy. But no, season 8 was freaking crazy. That was a madhouse of people. Oh my god, I'm really sad. We didn't see Emmy this season though, just because I wanted to see them in drag. That's what they were gonna do.
I when I tweeted out that there was a few flops on the cast, Emmy was one of the people I was talking about.
Oh, no.
I do want to answer John's question real quick. That Jalen, one thing I did find really interesting that I can name right off the top of my head was the final 3 cycle. That was so interesting. And we were honestly almost headed for a sudden death round, which it's only happened twice in the history of the show. Season 10 original classic and season 12 classic. So you could have been poetic actually, but okay, I'll let you guys.
They did have a sudden death cycle.
No, actually, sudden death cycle is classified as, so let's say after the final cycle, they both tie with like 108 steps.
Oh.
Then it goes into a 15 space cycle, which that's a sudden death cycle.
Oh,
what if
so
they
if
tied it
Pranoy would have put the 4 like we suggested, and Colleen went home, then
Yes. As long as like Pranoy was 3 behind Jalen, then Pranoy takes space 30, it ties, and then they have to go into a sudden death round. Which again has only happened in Classic Season 10, which would have been poetic if it happened. And then it also happened in Classic Season 12. That's the only time it's ever happened in this game. So
I cannot believe that
I'm just mad I chose the wrong
season
team.
between his little bitty fingers. That's crazy. I do feel bad for him in a way.
No, because like I'm just really pissed off I didn't choose Team X, because if I would have been on that team, I wouldn't have went home. And that's
I was like, okay, once like 3 of my people that I wanted to work with joined my team, I was like, okay, you guys can stop joining now. Stop joining. But
no,
Price,
like,
listen, Price. Okay, I will say this. Had I known that it would have only been 1 cycle, that wouldn't have happened. I really thought it was going to be 2. You get what I'm saying? Like
I thought it was going to be 2 also.
So if I would have known it would have only been 1, I would have been like, okay, we can just get rid of Pranoy or John. Like, no big deal. Or Pranoy, we could just get rid of Pranoy. No big deal.
See, but the reason I chose to join, like, even after I saw, like, I was like, okay, it's Jalen, and then it was John, and then it was Colleen. I was like, okay, this is enough. Josh is already on the other team. I can go work with Josh. But I was like, ooh, but what if they send John home? And I was like, so I picked that team just to protect John ass, and then y'all fucking sent me home. This shit pissed me off.
Grayson, people have won before without ever winning safety, right?
You know what? I feel like I've known that question. I knew the answer to that, but I think I forgot. I think so.
Because I think so too, because I didn't win safety that whole game.
Well, let's look up the stats. I'll be right back with you all.
No, I'm just really, y'all piss me off. Like, y'all really pissed, and like, it was because I knew it was coming. Like, the way y'all was acting, when y'all kept asking me, what, are we good? What's the plan? Like, y'all kept asking me. And then when it was me, you and Esther in the call, and y'all were giggling, talking about something, well, yeah, once somebody's feeling sure gonna get hurt. I was like, oh, y'all think y'all slick.
I didn't say that.
Both of y'all said it.
I did not say it. Esther said that. I was just like, oh, God.
So
I wish I could give you a hug right now, Colleen.
It was like, it's all right.
I said, I wish I could give you a hug right now. I feel bad.
It's okay.
Colleen, you just got to take a good nap, get some self-care. Got to take care of yourself tomorrow. Get a good day for yourself.
She still technically is an essay winner. I am not, so I don't feel bad.
I do a little bit.
Once Grayson looks this up, I'm going to bed.
Okay. I will say though that objectively speaking, Colleen did play a dominating game just as equals to Jalen.
Yeah,
I know we've established this, but I do want to illustrate that immensely that Colleen had this season on lockdown. So let's that's the way I look at it, facts don't lie.
Same thing with Esther. I would say the same about Pranoy as well, but once he took the 11, then that kind of ruined that.
Well, Pranoy had the season 1. If he just did like 1 with Colleen 0, it's game over.
Or even he could have afforded to do a 4 or a 3.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't really talk too much shit because I fucked up the final 3 cycle on season 8, but it is what it is.
To be fair, I feel like if it went, well, here's the thing. Even if you did like 1 or whatever, and I had lost 25, did you have the tiebreaker?
Yes.
You had the tiebreaker. So even if I had immunity,
reason I was so low is because of the
Manny
-50.
Yeah.
No, because of the -50, not because of Manny, because it was like,
oh, right. Well,
because I had like 80 something steps to your, like, I forgot whatever you had, like 11.
I don't even remember. I know I ended up with like 5 points or steps. I don't, but no, yeah, it's crazy how many.
I don't know.
It's crazy how many of these freaking seasons come down to a flip and dip and randomizer.
Okay, I did bring it up. Jalen, unfortunately, it happened way back when I played the game. Classic Season 9, Gavin McCormick won the game for the second time without maintaining or winning safety. So
Wait,
That's okay.
wait, you played the game?
I did, and I flopped. But we don't talk about that. That was a long time ago.
Wait, sorry. I'm just confused because you made the game.
I did.
Creators can play their own game.
Well, I know, but I'm just wondering, like, who hosts then?
Oh, it was Chloe Ferris. She was very active in the community then. It was 2016. It was way back yonder. So, she had played. I want to say 3 times at that point. So I was like, "Hey, Chloe, we need extra people. Let's see if I can try to win this. So if you want to try to do this," so she agreed, and we did it. And I got out. I went out first.
I feel like you're at an unfair advantage because people are gonna try to take you out early.
Yeah, and it's a double-edged sword. If I win, people question it. If I lose, it's like,
Next time. I think the only time I'll ever play strategic, and I say this every time, but like I feel like now the only time I'll ever play strategic aspect again is if it's an in-person season.
If it's an in-person season, somebody's getting shot or stabbed. It's gonna be a fucking mess. Oh my gosh.
I don't think SA is one of those games. Like, people won't get that upset.
No, yeah, I know. I'm just like joking, but I'm like, the way that people would be like, "Did you steal my step?" Like, I feel like in person. I feel like, in my opinion, in person, as someone who's done in person and online in all like variations, in person games are so much more like emotionally intense because you're just like, you're seeing the whole body, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're in that same living space. Like for this.
But I do have a question.
Oh, sorry.
When did y'all come to the conclusion that y'all were gonna vote me out? Was it before the cycle or after?
No, after the cycle.
And it was because I gave John safety?
It wasn't for me, that wasn't why.
Because Esther was like saying she was like, I don't trust Price.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I could just see the way it was going. Like I could just see that it would I could just see the way it was going. So I just went ahead and was
I was not even
trying
to do that, but they were like, let's just do it now. And I was like, okay. But
and like Pranoy was like, the reason why I pretty much had to do it was because like Pranoy was like, Price dropped my name. And then
I mean, because like of course that's why I wanted to go home.
Yeah,
so,
and then
I got Pranoy.
Yeah, it was just like, let's just do it.
It's late, so
yeah, I'm fixing to hit the hay.
The live stream. Thank you to everyone who watched, played, and supported this game. It's been a blast, and we're looking forward to season 11 and onward. So, any final words we'll start with our winner, Jalen. Any final words?
If you haven't played, sign up. It's a lot of fun.
We'll go with our runner-up, Colleen. What do you have to say, Colleen?
Nothing. I'm in my Amanda Kimmel era, so bye.
I love you, Colleen.
Amanda Kimmel.
And then we'll go up in placements. Luke, any final words?
Gay rights, and if you play this game, dress cute. Don't just wear a hoodie. I'm just kidding, Price.
I'm wearing a tank top, so
you got a hat.
Yeah, well, that's because my
tattoo on your arm.
It's because my hair is fucking crazy right now.
Yeah, you have like a tattoo on your arm. That's like character. You know what I mean? Bam.
And last but certainly not least, Price. What any final words?
Final words. John, I would do it all over again. I don't care.
John, I would do it. No, just kidding.
No, but it's a good time. Y'all come play. I'm gonna get a win.
One of these days, Price, it'll happen.
You know, and just know, don't trust your friends because they ain't shit. So yeah.
Oh.
Well, what a message indeed. From outside, I guess the strategic aspect, compound, whatever you want to call it. This has been